Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Let's Talk Sports podcast with me, Lucia. Now, week 17 is over of the NFL, so let's discuss some of the biggest storylines from it. What was Doug Peterson doing? Look, I am not being a salty Giants fan right now. Well, kind of am, but hey. I am happy with how our season actually went and the fact that we won the last game. It means that we are going into the next season with a win. I'm happy about that. What was Doug Peterson doing? Reports from the locker room have come out that there are players on the defensive end who kept them in the game, were being physically restrained and held back from Doug Peterson. Philadelphia is going to be a mess for the next couple of years, which, hey, I'm all for it. I cannot wait till our 2 games next year against the Phillies, against the Philadelphia Eagles. Cannot wait for that because I hope that Joe Judge and the Giants just stick it to them. But that's neither here nor there. The benching of Jalen Hurts is going to be something that's talked about religiously for the next, I don't know how long, up until the draft. Why would you want to change your pick from 9 to 6? That doesn't affect a lot of people. That doesn't affect most teams. Now, am I still being a salty Giants fan? Yes. Does that mean that I am upset with the Philadelphia Eagles? Yes. Does that mean that we had 16 games to figure out a way to win? Yes. Am I being rational about this? Yes. Am I overblowing this? No. It's the integrity of the game. The Eagles had a chance to win that game against Washington. Yeah. Anyway, I get depressed while talking about it because it was such a boneheaded decision in my opinion. So I'm going to move on to a happy decision. Adam Gase is fired. Yay! I don't understand how this dude had a job for 2 years. Anyway, should never have been hired. A Miami Dolphins coach going to the New York Jets. Yeah, there was something fishy about that. Hey, he's fired, he's gone. I think Eric Bieniemy or Urban Meyer or even Jason Garrett could be a good alternative. In talking about Eric Bieniemy, I thought his name was literally Eric the Enemy. I had no idea that his last name was Bieniemy. I thought his nickname was The Enemy. Anyway, that's something that I've learned. That's what I've learned in 2021 so far, is that Bieniemy is his last name. That's pretty good. Anyway, I want to say a huge thank you to the NFL for having their season this year. They completed 17 weeks of the NFL season with a few hiccups here and there, with people doubting whether they were going to finish the season. But they did it. And with no cancellations, no need to go into a bubble, no time off period things. They did. They led the charge in creating an environment where we can actually live with this virus. They made it happen, and I thank Roger Goodell for his leadership and taking the leading the charge in how to live with this virus. Anyway, let's move on to some college football because I have some thoughts. Alabama versus Notre Dame. I feel so sorry for Notre Dame. I feel so sorry for them. Alabama just totally destroyed them. I am surprised that Notre Dame got any points on the board. I'm really, really happy for Devontae Smith, who won the Heisman Trophy. He scored 3 or 4 touchdowns. He's an amazing wide receiver. I am praying and hoping that out of all this mess, we land that he falls to number 11. I am praying to the football gods, please let that happen, because we need some help on the wide receiver level. Ohio State versus Clemson. Justin Fields was like, hey, Clemson, remember last year when you beat us? Yeah, we're going to now totally beat you within an inch of its life. And that's what they did. They beat Clemson within an inch of their life. I genuinely think that game, Trevor Lawrence was playing it easy. I don't think he was playing it to his fullest extent. I think he was playing it so that he didn't get injured. Because he is going to be the number 1 overall pick. He is going to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he needs to have as good a season as Justin Herbert this year. He is going to be special. Ohio State, Justin Fields was like, hey look, I am possibly the number 2 overall pick, which would be going to the Jets, which I don't wish upon anyone. So yeah, we have for the college title game, Ohio State versus Alabama. I'll be previewing that for next week because it happens next week. There are a little bit of rumblings that's going to be suspended, pushed back. Look, I don't know. I'm happy that we've got to this far. We've just got 1 more game to go, and then the college football season's done, and 4 more weeks of NFL, and then that's done. Now let's move on to the NBA. Steph Curry goes for 62 points. 62. He's the second oldest NBA player to do that. The oldest would be the late, great, amazing Kobe Bean Bryant. All this talk about Steph Curry not being washed up, he's old, he doesn't know what he's going to do, he's lost his fellow Splash brother in Klay Thompson. Steph Curry's the greatest shooter I've ever seen. Like, he's the greatest shooter. He's the greatest shooter I've ever seen. We will never see a guy like Steph Curry. I might have to, depending on how I feel about my MVP pick, it might be Steph. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that yet. I haven't really thought about adjusting my picks yet. In adjusting my picks, are the Suns legit or pretenders? That is something that I have been going through in my head for a little while now. During the bubble, they went 8-0 and gave themselves a shot at winning, at going to the playoffs. Devin Booker's been playing lights out. DeAndre Ayton's been playing lights out. And I think that is the response to playing with somebody like CP3. He is incredible. He's an incredible leader, an incredible forefront leader. And it's amazing to see the impact that he's had on the Suns. They currently have the best record in the NBA in the Western Conference. That's incredible. I'm very proud of them. Now look, I do expect the market to level out a little bit. I do expect more teams to become better. But yeah, the Phoenix Suns, they're definitely a playoff team. I'm very, very surprised about it. And if the Phoenix Suns make it, I'll be saying CP3 for League MVP. Now, another piece of news. Becky Hammond deserves her shot. She has been under Greg Popovich for 7 years. 7 years. Back last season, I remember when Greg Popovich was thrown out of the game and Tim Duncan was there as an assistant coach. He went to Tim Duncan over Becky Hammond. Becky Hammond had been there longer, had more wins, had more incredible, had more experience than Tim Duncan. But they went to Tim Duncan because of the gender. I think that she deserves to be a head coach in the NBA. It's going to take an owner that has real courage. If I was thinking about this the other day, if Becky Hammond was a black male, people would be saying that it was outrageous that she hadn't got a shot yet. But because she's a female, she doesn't get that luxury. And look, I'm not going to go sit on my feminist high horse because I'm not a feminist. I just believe in true equality, and that means that everyone's equal and that no special privileges are given to any special subsets of humanity. I just believe in 100% equality across the board. If you treat me, basically, if I treat you, I want to be treated how you treat me. I want to be treated how I treat you, which is with love and respect, and I will treat everyone equally, and I expect that back. But yeah, I think Becky Hammond deserves a shot. It's going to take either a Mark Cuban or a Jeannie Buss or someone like that with real courage to give it to her. I'll be looking forward to seeing when Becky Hammond finally gets her shot at being an NBA head coach. I'm excited. I'm really excited. This is a groundbreaking moment for us. Groundbreaking. So, the NBA match of the week. The Brooklyn Nets versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, the Brooklyn Nets are without Kevin Durant, as he has been put in a 7-day quarantine as he was exposed to someone that had tested positive for COVID. He has tested negative. He actually had COVID back in July. So, from everything that we're being told by everyone is that you can't get it again. So, he'll be alright. He just needs to complete that. The Philadelphia 76ers, I think, have the best shot at upsetting the Brooklyn Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals. Doc Rivers is an incredible coach. Incredible. I didn't expect him to be this good in Philadelphia. I think that he needed to actually leave the Clippers because 7 years is far too long for a coach-player relationship. Anyway, I will have the Philadelphia 76ers winning that game. I'm not going to predict scores because I don't do that. I think that's really silly. But, I think that Philadelphia 76ers are going to look to completely just obliterate the Brooklyn Nets and send a message. So let's talk about the NFL playoffs wildcard round and my predictions. First matchup, we've got the Bills versus the Colts. I'm going with the Bills. We've got the Seahawks versus the Rams. I'm going with the Seahawks. We've got Washington versus the Bucks. I'm going with the Bucks. We've got the Titans versus the Ravens. I'm actually going to go with the Titans. I think that they're going to win it. We've got the Saints versus the Bears. I am going to go with the Saints because I do not trust the Bears. We've got the Steelers versus the Browns. I'm predicting an upset here. I think that the Browns are going to beat the Steelers. I don't think that the Steelers are a playoff team. I seriously don't. I don't think they're a playoff team. The Browns are losing everyone left, right, and centre to COVID, but I still believe that after 18 years, the Browns are going to finally do it and finally win a playoff game. Can you believe that we're just 1 month away from the Super Bowl? We're 1 month away. I'm not counting any chickens before they hatch. I will hold everything in because I am praying this goes off without a hitch. Anyway, that is all for this week's episode of Let's Talk Sports podcast with me, Lucia. So I'll catch you all next week. Bye.